Hey guys, this is Flumble Stuffing Incorporated, and I'm here to complete my top 10 video of my top 10 favorite decks of all time. So let's not waste any more time, and let's get to it. Number 5, Infernity. Well, I really love this deck for quite a number of reasons. One, they have a very unique playing style, considering that they're one of the few decks, if not any other deck, that can play with no cards in their hand. Easily, it's one of the most explosive decks out there if allowed to go off. They're a glass cannon, but that's kind of a given for any glass cannon deck that plays with no cards. And another thing is that, here's a bad one. It's one of the most slaughtered decks on the ban list. I mean, Infernity Archfiends at 1, Infernity Barriers at 1, Infernity Launchers at 1. That's just bad for it. And another thing is that they're completely reliant on top decks, which is a fun thing to think about in Infernities, but it's also a huge flaw if you just don't. You pretty much lose there. And another bad thing about it is that, the last bad thing I'm going to go over, is that it's incredibly easy to cheat with this deck, because players can just set cards in their hand to spawn trap card zone, some of which may be monsters that the opponent isn't aware of. But if they hit with MST, then they can just scoop it up, pretending that's a devastating hit. So, yeah, those are bad things about Infernities. And I already went over the good that I love about them, is that they're very explosive, and they don't even need the cheating. And another thing is that they're another deck that can abuse Card of Demise. Demise Infernities, so much cancer. Number 4, DDDs. Well, before I get into this part, I'm about to go ahead and tell you this. A DDD, Flame King Genghis, and Gust King Alexander are coming out in the new tins. As promos, no less. Hooray, hooray, ice cream for everybody. And the other thing is that you can't summon Alexander because, we don't have a DD tuner yet in the TCG. So, yeah, that's kind of an issue for it. But other than that, pretty neat release. So, now on the DDDs. They are by far the hardest deck I have ever used. I played Synchrons. I played Despots. They are not as hard to play as DDDs. Not even close. Just because they have so many high-level monsters to abuse, and they just... they have so many combos. I mean, you can make big boards with this deck, but you have so many combos. This is just crazy. So yeah, they're an extremely powerful combo deck, and I really love combo decks. And another thing is that they're highly consistent. You always come across a brick hand every once in a while. You may not come across a hand that you want to use most of the time, but that doesn't mean the hand's unusable, right? Unless it's a brick. So, yeah. Another thing is that, like Infernity, they are very explosive. I feel like this is possibly the most explosive deck in the game. And that's saying a lot, considering that some decks like Despots are very explosive too. And before anybody says anything, yes, I have played both OCG and DDD and TCG DDD builds in real life and in YGO Pro. So if anyone says, "Oh, you're just one of those DDD hype sheeps," they're idiots. Enough said. Another thing is, it's just that they're very fun to play and has a very fast array of combos. And Declan, or Reiji is what you want to call him, they use them. And he's my favorite character in Arc 5, so that's also a plus. Number 3, Synchrons. Oh man, the one true Hyper Synchro deck. I really love this deck. It's absurdly fast, extremely combo-centric, and just as skillful and complicated. And they can do that with very little to no setup time. And another thing is that there can be so many variants, like the Synchro Fusionist variant, the Quasar variant, the Beast Spam variant, or my favorite one, Junk Doppel, which can do pretty much all those things if it wanted to. But there was one problem with it. They can break almost as bad as Monarch at times. Oh my gosh, it's just... Seeing a brick hand with this deck is the worst feeling ever. You want to go fast with this deck, but the speed of a brick. It's just sitting there, just miserable, even though they're not sentient, but you know what I mean. So yeah. But when you do get those hands, you can have your opponent sitting there for almost 20 minutes as you make combos. But that's pretty much Synchro Fusionist in a nutshell. So overall, it's a very fun and skillful deck, and I really hope that it gets more support, even though it already got in Synchron Extreme. Number 2, Galaxies. Owned by Kai Tenjo, it makes number 2 on this list. Why? One thing is the artwork. Oh my gosh. Like, if this isn't so beautifully space-like, I don't know what is. I mean, take a look at this image of Galaxy Eyes. Doesn't it just look beautiful? And another thing is that the deck itself is very powerful. It makes rank 8 and 5 plays like it's their hobby. So I'm also go ahead and tell you, they can use artifacts and cybers for control and more aggro. And they themselves have access to some of the best rank 5s and 8s in the game, like Cyber Dragon Nova to go into infinity, Constellar Pleiades, Zenmayo, Volgrand, 38, 107, need I go on? And also, oh man, Galaxy Eyes and his upgrades have the absolute best summoning animations ever in the show, ever. And Kite is my favorite Dexel character. Why not have Galaxies on here? So yeah, so it's time for number 1, so drum roll please. Insert drum roll noises, so I'll do it myself. Number 1 is Monarchs. Absolutely love Monarchs. Are you surprised? Well, don't be. Monarchs are a very phenomenal deck. Not only that they made tribute summoning relevant again, but they also made other decks cry for even having an extra deck. Monarchs have insane draw power and search power, which can pull themselves incredibly powerful boss monsters. The only problem is that they can open Brick City, and another thing, that they sometimes get too many high-level monsters. So, if you want a good budget deck, Monarchs are for you. Nah, I'm just screwing with you. I hate Monarchs. Get that crap away from me. Sheesh. Seriously, the real number 1 is Fluffles. How could they not be number 1? I mean, just look at the channel name. One thing is that their design is absolutely adorable. It's just, who doesn't love stuffed animals? Stuffed bears, stuffed lions, stuffed owls, stuffed sheep. That's adorable. Like, just, oh my gosh. It's just a definition of just cute. But, you know, that doesn't mean they're not a good deck. You'd be completely wrong if you thought they were a bad deck. They are the poster boy for Glass Cannon decks. And pretty much the poster boy for Rogue decks at this moment. They can go all out and pays you rightfully. Because they can go make like 4 to 5 fusions if you go all out. And it may not even have to be your best fusions. And their extra deck is a toolbox for different ways to destroy threats. Tiger being a field bomb, Sheep being Armades, Leo being a Volcasaurus, and Wolf being an OTK machine. Also, this deck has amazing deck thinning, with cards like Fluffle Bear, Fluffle Dog, Fluffle Owl, indirect support like King of the Swamp. Just everything about Fluffles is very well rounded, and I feel like that it fits my playing style to a T. Its design just appeals to me in so many ways. It's just the perfect deck for me. I really love Fluffles. So, Fluffles are number 1, guys. And if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. So, talk to you guys next time.